Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Enhanced Sports Show. My name is Lou Tenor. It's just after 4 o'clock in the Northeast on a miserable, dreary day here, but that's okay because we'll be here to keep you company until around 6 o'clock. We got a bunch of stuff to do today, and remember, this show moves like lightning, of course. Remember, the number to call is 512-543-4662. I'll repeat it again, 512-543-4662. And don't forget to check us out on YouTube. Don't forget to put in the Enhanced Sports Show when you go to YouTube, and you'll see previous shows up on the site as well as this one. But wait till the show is over before you do that, okay? Let's take a roll call. Steve Davidson, are you here? Good. Diane. Uh, North Carolina, would you state your name for the record, please? Nick, how are you? Good to hear you. All right, I'm glad you remembered the number and everything. All right. All right. So for those of you who are new to the show, every top of the month, I always like to check on the standings of what's going on, which will lead to the first question, by the way. So here we go. First up in the MLB, in the American League East, the strongest division in baseball right now, as it stands. We have the Rays in front at 40 and 18. Yuck. Orioles 36 and 21, 3.5 back. The Yankees coming on strong, 34 and 25, 6.5 back. Blue Jays not too shabby at 31 and 27, 9 back. And the Red Sox, despite last place, are still two above 500 at 29 and 27, 10 back. All right, to the Comedy Central of the AL. Yuck. The Twins, the only team that has above 500 record at 31 and 27. Everybody else is below 500. The Tigers, 26 and 29, 3.5 back. The Guardians, 5.5 back at 26 and 32. I still call them the Indians. I don't care if anybody's angry at me or not. The White Sox, 24 and 35, 7.5 back. And the Royals, 17 and 40, 13.5 back. Yuck. Okay, to the West. Rangers, 36 and 20, have a 2.5 game lead over their interstate rival, the Astros, at 34 and 23. Oh boy. Mariners, 29 and 28, 7.5 back. That's also 7 back of the Angels at 30 and 29. And the A's are a miserable, pathetic. Ready for this, guys? 12 and 47, 25.5 back. I am not kidding. Yuck. All right, to the National League. The Braves, 33 and 24, have a 3.5 game lead over the Mets, 30 and 28, although they lost again last night. Marlins also 30 and 28. And the Nationals and Phillies are tied at 8 back at 25 and 32. Over to the other Comedy Central of the NL Central, the Brewers 30-27 have a half game lead over the Pirates at 29-27. The Reds 26-31 four back. The Cubs 25-31 four and a half back, and the Cardinals 25-33 five and a half back. Okay, it's not terrible, but they do need a lot of work in that division. I'll say. All right, we got an interesting situation here in the AL West. D-backs and Dodgers tied 35-23. I like it. I like it. Giants 28-29, six and a half back. That's not bad. It's not great. 28-29. It's not bad. Padres 26-31, eight and a half back, and the Rockies 25-34 at 10 and a half back. Okay, first question: who has been your surprise team in the league this year? I don't care if it's AL or NL. Your surprise team so far after 55 games plus. Steve, I'll start that question with you. They are. I'll give you that. They are playing decent ball. Much to my, of course, they're building on from last year. Yeah, when that became a big surprise right there. Yeah, maybe what a big surprise. Okay, Diane, you think the Mets are the surprise team of the year? I don't know. I think they were better last year, to be honest with you. And Nick, your surprise team of the year. Okay, I think it's legit. You're right. Even though they're above 500, they have made improvements. I mean, this is their best season. I think what 2006, if I'm not mistaken, when they actually won the pennant that year. So I'll give you that. I think we can all agree that the Oakland A's are the biggest disaster of the year. I mean, at 12-47, it doesn't get much worse. Uh, I think maybe I'll agree with you, Nick, on that one. Detroit seems well. No. My surprise is actually Pittsburgh because they've also been in the toilet for many years now, and they are at least above 500 and gaining ground on the Central Division. So I'm gonna say the Pirates. 1979. We are family all over again. Okay. Yeah, right. So it should be interesting, as we go through the summer months, and let's see if Pittsburgh can stay afloat. We'll see if the Tigers can get above 500, and we'll see if the A's can actually get to 30 games with a win. Oh boy. Yeah, right. In fact, they might be on pace right now to break the all-time record for the for the worst season ever. And that you really want to know, Die? The 62 Mets, right, Jimmy? There's a thing, a 90% chance it will. Jimmy, who's your surprise team this year? Well, I don't know. I'll give you that. I'm not too surprised in the Rays. I mean, look what they've done in the past years, especially to our Yankees. So that's a little bit, they have put up a fight against us, and we're struggling, and we're always struggle against them, and they're holding their own this year. But the sad thing is that despite how well they do, they just can't seem to draw a crowd in that stadium. That's the sad part. They can't even draw flies on a good day. I mean, the only team I think is worse than attendance is that is the A's, of course. I mean, that's a sorry team right there, as you well know. All right. I'm gonna. I know a lot of people haven't been following this lately, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The USFL statistics. If anybody does have an opinion on it, that's okay. Just say you don't have an opinion on it. But for those who do, I'm gonna read down the standings for this league here, which is now entering the later stages of its season. Hmm. It always comes. Yeah, last week's season always ends around the time kids get out of school. Go figure. All right. Oh, and we'll do this, and we'll do the schedule for this week's games later on. All right. So the standings go like this. In the North Division, the only team that's above 500 are the Philadelphia Stars at 4-3. Everybody else is in the tank. Michigan Panthers are 3-4. The Generals of New Jersey and the Pittsburgh Maulers are 2-5. Yes, and the Generals have now lost four in a row. Ugly as sin. In the stronger division of the South, Birmingham was 5-2. Houston, New Orleans, and Memphis are 4-3. All right. Does anybody have any thoughts on the USFL so far as it heads into now week 8? Anybody? Who buzzed in for? Diane buzzed in first. Diane buzzed in first. Go. All right. Who buzzed in first? All right, Steve. Go ahead. Your thoughts, if you have any. Yeah. Well, three teams, Steve, are four. Three teams are now 4-3. The only one that's a better record is Birmingham. It looks to be that way, doesn't it? We'll do the schedule later, Steve. We'll do the schedule later. Okay. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Jimmy? Uh, yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Nick, any thoughts? Okay, it's fine. Diane, just out of curiosity. Diane, where'd she go? Can anyone still hear me? Okay. Okay, I think Diane's having trouble with her phone. All right, I'll get back to her. All right, so baseball is done for now, so we'll get back to that later. Now on, you get what? Go. All right, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Okay. By the way, Birmingham is playing Philadelphia right now in the USFL game, so this is a big game, even though it's in separate divisions. So I just want to be clear on that. Di, have you come back yet? Mm. Okay, okay. I hear her fading in the background, but she's around here somewhere. Yeah. Uh, would you state your name, please? Brett. Aha. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an old buddy of mine, Brett Reese. Many, many moons ago, when I was young, we actually did a radio program together. It was music. We did music on Saturday afternoons in a garage in South Orange. And yeah, we were nuts to be honest. But we played some great music. We had we had some great times though when we did that. Yeah, long time ago. Yes, I think you do, Diane. Okay, well, we'll get touch on the family reunion a little bit later. So right now, um, I need some thoughts on. Oh, we got another one here. Trenton, New Jersey. Oh, yeah, that's you, right, Brett? And Springfield. Would you state your name, please? Oh, wait, is it Steve? Steve. Okay, sorry. All right, all right. Hey, you're still here. That's better late than never, guys. Yeah. All right, so let's get started with some. We got some tennis news here because we are in the French Open. And Djokovic has been causing quite some controversy lately. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but he said some comments about Siberia because it was the Siberian capital, and of course, not many people were fond of his comments about Siberia with the war going on and whatnot. And he's getting a lot of trouble from flack from fans and others, to be honest with. So I want to know what everybody thinks of the comments made by Djokovic. As yesterday, he also struggled in the third round against an up and comer, and it took three out. It took about 3.5 hours to finish three sets. So he's like, how the chair or the chair umpire is officiating on a certain day, and how the Joker is encouraging entourage sitting in the stands and whatnot. So it's been a pretty tough week for Djokovic with his comments, even though he's doing well being his opponents. So, Steve, what do you make of it? Yes, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Right. Well, I yeah, yeah, I know. Exactly. Well, you're right. I mean, some do, but it's not. It's let's just say it's not natural. Okay, let's put it that way. It's not natural. Steve Kent, your comments. Um, yeah. Yes. Yes. Well, no. Oh yeah, Cantor. Yes. Yes. Right. Yes. Right. Oh yeah, yeah, they have. Yes. Right. No, you can't. But it does serve as an ugly message, during because it's a sporting event. You're trying to mix in politics, and I don't think that's right. So anyway, right? No. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes. All right. Anyone else have any thoughts? All right, so I'll just read the article and move on. As a matter of fact, 30 NATO peacekeeping soldiers were injured in clashes with Siberian protesters in the northern Kosovo section where his father grew up. So that's the problem right there. Serbs, who comprise a majority of Kosovo's north, have never fully accepted the country's declaration of independence from Siberia. They still believe Belgrade is the capital 2 decades after the uprising of Siberian rule. So that's a problem right there. All right, on to yeah, I still got some more tennis news here as we continue with the French Open. Yeah, in fact, if you I don't really hear anything, Guy. Somebody has a problem with a phone though. Okay, so continuing on, I got some NBA news. Oh, Steve's on the phone. Um, Knicks forward Julius Randle underwent surgery on his left ankle. However, he should be ready to gear up for training camp in September. Steve, come on. The Knicks made an announcement today. The procedure was performed just yesterday and was considered a success and will allow Randall to resume basketball activities later this summer and will be ready to go for the coming season, which training camp starts in September. Randall played not through just one but two ankle sprains in the final stages of the Knicks season when he became aware that surgery was probably going to be needed, but decided to push through the injury to remain online for the next playoff run. As the old saying goes, play through the pain. Mhm. After you go as far as you can go without getting injured. So anyway, yes, all right. He should. He should. Right. We'll get to that a little bit later. Okay. Then after playing the first 77 games without a problem, Randall missed the last five of the regular season with the first ankle sprain. Then in Game Five of the first round series against the Cavaliers, he injured it again and only played in one playoff game. That was Game One against the Heat, which they went up losing. I wonder though if he wasn't injured, would the Knicks would have won that series against Miami? I mean, that's tough to figure out. I think maybe they could have won that series, because Randall is a good player. Don't get me wrong here, and he made a strong performance, with the team this year. So I think maybe um, if he wasn't injured, the Knicks could have had that series against Miami, and Miami wouldn't be here right now in the finals, which I'll get to in a little while. So, or does anybody think I'm just nuts? Does anybody think that? Yes. Yeah, yeah. Right. Caleb Martin. Yeah, yeah. Uh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. No. Well, I'll put it this way. I'll put it this way. I think it could have went to at least, at least to like the games. Could have been to a game seven if that, because I think Randall would have made some strong performances up against Jimmy Buckets, or as some of you call it, Jimmy Butler. So we gotta look at it that way. Anybody else from the local area think differently? Jimmy? Yeah. All right. Uh, Diane. Mm. Nick. All right. Brett. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I mean, you follow the Knicks, right? Okay. Do you think maybe? Do you think maybe the Knicks would have had better if Randall was on his game? All right. That's an honest answer. Okay. Jimmy. Jimmy's line is dead. I think. Steve. Thank you. Some agree, some don't. But that's how we do it here, guys. That's what I can say. And Miami is only the second seeded, eighth seeded team ever to get to a final. The first one to do was the Knicks 23 years ago, and I think Randall's father was even on that team, so it runs in the family. All right, so let's do some predictions right now. Now that Game One has been set and it was won by Denver, although Miami made it interesting in the later stages of the fourth quarter and thought maybe there was a shot that they could have done it. Maybe, but Denver was showing how they've been the best team all year, and it showed that um, on Thursday night. So we'll take a prediction here. Steve, what do you got for the Nuggets versus the Heat? All right, Steve Kent. All right. Yes, yes, they are. That's the thing. Although size doesn't always mean everything, but I think in this case, now you know what? I was a bit surprised too by the way that Boston just like, shall we say, choked in the last game because after coming off an emotional high from that win on Saturday night, I mean, I thought maybe they were primed and ready, to take that game seven, and I thought maybe the other way around um, with that, but they just couldn't hold it up. Miami just outscored them. You're not. Well, how about that? Uh, yeah. Yes. Mm. Mm. Obviously. Yep. Full up and died. Mm. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yuck. Mm. Exactly. Why take your chance on an injured player? Right. Mm. Yeah. Right. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? All right. Oh, let me call your names first. Let me call your names. Unknown. We got on the call. All right. Hang on, guys. I got another caller here, but we don't know who it is. You don't have a number up here. Would you identify yourself, please? The unknown caller. Who is this? Oh, Valeria. Right. I'm sorry. You're new to the program. She's a local person from the New York area. We're discussing the NBA right now with the Nuggets and the Heat. Who do you have, and how many games do you think it'll take right now? Then we'll do other stuff later. All right. Uh, Nick. Yes. Yeah. Nick. Valeria. How many games? How many games, Valeria? Five. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. One person at a time and one topic at a time. That's what we gotta do here. And it's a 5 minute rule in effect. All right. Nick, go ahead. All right. Yeah. And some of you guys are fading out a bit too, so speak up. Jimmy, who do you got? He's alive. Okay. All right. Uh, Brett, Brett, who do you have? Denver or Miami? You did say Denver. I'm gonna say Denver in I think I'll say Denver in five. I don't think Miami's gonna hold it up enough for to get a six game. I mean, Jimmy Butler's already got on that team. Denver has a lot more weapons, so I'm gonna say the Nuggets in five. All right, now on to hockey. Denver a sweep. You gotta give Miami one game at home. So I'm just gonna say five for argument's sake. Okay, now to the ice. Okay, well, we've waited long enough. The NHL finals begin tonight. Thank goodness. After a long season that's been 82 games, preseason started in September, etc., etc., and now we got the final. Oh wow. So we got the Florida Panthers, who've been the underdog all year, and up against, well, a team that has shown why they are the better team this year, of course. Just a second here. Just a second while we check something out. The Panthers versus the Vegas Golden Knights. Oh boy, the Golden Knights have been strong all year. Okay, so they had their moments, in this up in the series this week, and of course had a tough time against the upstarters of the Seattle Kraken, which have done very well this year, and going to their second year in the playoffs, and they made it. So they've had a tough battle. But who do you have between Seattle and Florida? Um, Steve Davis, I'll start that with you. Golden Knights. All right. Steve Kent. I like that. I like that. All right. Yeah. How many games, Steve? How many games? Five. Okay. I didn't hear five. Nick, a sweep? Wow. Okay. Diane. Diane. Wow. You guys got guts on this one. Jimmy? Oops. Okay. And Valeria. Well, Seattle's out, so you might mean the Golden Knights. Okay. How many games? All right. Uh, I don't know. I mean, I will give Florida credit for a remarkable run they've had, especially after that huge upset against the Bruins in Game 7. Sorry, Steve. Um, but I think they've run luck here. I think it's going to be a sweep for Vegas, and they deserve it. You can't deny what they've done. So we'll see. They are, but I'm gonna say if Panthers in a sweep. I could be wrong. I mean, Knights in a sweep. I could be wrong, but uh, they've just been strong all year. So why would they stop now? Okay. Yes. Oh, right. Yes, they did. Right. Oh yeah. Yes. Right. Okay, moving on. News 76ers. Yes. I'll give you that. Vegas is driven. Yeah, but I think Vegas is driven more. Well, we'll see. All right, so moving on. News 76ers coach Nick Nurse was asked about the status of pending free agent James Harden and how he could sell the star guard and play next season. Yeah, lots of luck. Winning to have would have to be the sell, right? He says, introductory news conference at their practice facility. Can we be good enough to win it all? That's the goal of his. And if it is, then he should be able to stay here and play for us because I think there's a possibility of that. Nurse, who was hired a few weeks ago after a successful one with the Raptors, uh, ended. He said he spoke to Harden and plans to meet with him and every other player on the roster, including center Joel Embiid, whom he sat down with in the interview process. And while a championship is the expectation for his team, Nurse inherits a group that reached the end of six times in the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. It has been a generation since AI was with the Sixers and took them to their last finals appearance. But Nurse said that doesn't matter now. Instead, the focus is on what lies ahead. Part of rising above will come down to whether Nurse can help Embiid, the league MVP, takes his game to a whole new level this postseason. Nurse will try to do so from a place that has been given often that have gone head to head over the past 5 years. The Raptors and Sixers have faced each other four times in the regular season and met twice in the playoffs. And the epic Game 7 2019 clash when Kawhi Leonard his buzzer beater in Game 7 allowed the Raptors to move on from the first round series in Game 6 last season. So, what do we got with Nick Nurse and with his taking over the Sixers? This could be interesting. I mean, he has to have a championship ring um, in 2018 with the Raptors and was coach of the year in 2020. So he is bringing a winning attitude with them, and maybe they'll carry over. He coached the Raptors first, and now is with Philadelphia. All right, your thoughts on that on Nurse? And by the way, is there a doctor in the house? Oh boy, yeah. All right, your thoughts? Hmm. C. Davidson. Oh, yeah. All right, Jimmy. Roger, your thoughts on Nick Nurse? Welcome aboard. On with Nick Nurse nowadays with the Sixers, and he wants to take him to, of course, the NBA Finals in hopes of a championship. But the way the Sixers have been in the recent few years, not since Allen Iverson have they been able to do that. So, what do you make of that? Oh, by the way, who do you have for the NBA Finals? Who do you have? Do you have the Nuggets or Miami? And what about in the NHL Final? Who do you have with the Knights and the Panthers? All right, Gerald. How about you? First up, you got the Heat. First, you got Miami. Yeah, we got the NBA Finals. You got Denver and Miami. Denver and Miami. You're going with Denver. And the Knights and Panthers in the NHL Finals. I think you said the Panthers. Okay. All right. So we got a good crowd here now. All right. Good. All right, so moving along. I told you we got a lot to do tonight, don't we? All right. Patrick Kane, though, was going to be sidelined for 4 to 6 months after undergoing a hip procedure. His agent said on Thursday, actually. Pat Brisson told reporters that Kane had the procedure done. Kane played the last 19 games of his 8-year, $84 million deal with the Rangers last season. The Rangers acquired Kane from the Blackhawks on February 28th. He spent most of his career with the Panthers. I mean, with Steve, please. He spent most of his career with the Blackhawks, except for those 19 games, and played a total of 1,161 games. Brisbane expects Kane to make a full recovery. It was not clear on how the surgery will impact his free agency, but Brisbane said it would consider options if the winger is not signed by July 1st. The surgery was successful. Kane is a 9-time All-Star and 3-time Stanley Cup winner with the Blackhawks. Kane was selected first overall by the Blackhawks in 2007. All right, guys. So what do you make of that with Patrick Kane? And you know, he's not the same. The Blackhawks are not the same team than they once were. So, what are the chances with Patrick Kane? Um, Jimmy, I'll start that with you. With Patrick Kane, yeah. Big mistake was right. Yeah, yeah. Right. All right. Steve Kent. Uh-oh, uh-oh. You're right. I think I agree with that. You gave him up for nothing. Yes. Right. Yeah. Ooh, now we're talking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts? That sounds like fighting words. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Yes, they do. Correct. Yes. We hope so. Yes. Uh-huh. You say what the illness was. Okay. Okay. It could be anything. Tomorrow. Okay. So anyway, and Commissioner Adam Silver has indicated that he has reached a decision regarding league officers looming against Grizzly star John Morant, but will wait till after the finals is over before announcing his punishment. As most of you know, the troublemaker was suspended on May 14th, pending a league review for social media posts circulating showing him the All Star flashing a firearm. What a dope! The league suspended Morant for 8 games for a similar incident back in March when he traveled to New York to meet with the commissioner to discuss the issue. During his annual press conference before the finals, Silver said the history of prior acts and the individual player's history would be considered when addressing what discipline to take. We uncovered a fair amount of information since I was asked about the situation. Silver said on Thursday, I would I would say we have brought it to a head today, but we reached a decision. I believe the Players Association agrees with what is would be unfair to these players and unfair to these terms in the middle of the series to announce the results of the investigation. All right. So, what do we make of the comments made by Adam Silver? Steve, I'll start that with you. 90 days. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Right. Alex, your thoughts on John Morant? Yes. All right. Okay. Steve Kent? Yes. Right. And they should. They should. Okay. Okay. Oh, however, not at all. Yes. Yes. Mhm. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts? Yes. It could. Okay. Right. Anyone else? Valeria. Valeria. Yes. Exactly. Gerald, you're breaking up a bit, so try to speak up. Okay. Much better. Okay, much better. Okay. Yes, yes, exactly. That's my thoughts too. Okay, moving on. Yes, I think we're all in agreement. And he is a big idiot. Besides that, okay. So on the lighter side here, uh, the Suns are finalizing a deal to hire Frank Vogel as coach. Source told ESPN. I think Jimmy likes the idea. The Suns offered the job to Vogel on Thursday, and they are expected to complete terms on the deal that would deliver a chance to coach All Stars Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Vogel emerged as a finalist, a group that included former Sixers coach Doc Rivers and Suns assistant Kevin Young. Vogel does have a championship with the Lakers in 2020. The Suns are pursuing a successor to Monty Williams, who was fired as head coach after losing to the Nuggets. So, and by the way, Williams was hired as the coach of the Pistons earlier this week. I'll get to that in a little while. All right, so looks like a good deal for Vogel. When you say, guys, I mean he brings also championship experience with him, and I think it's going to do wonders for that team. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? Yeah. 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 Right. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Hmm. Hmm. Right. And yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I go. Oh, I almost forgot. We also have the calendar events for this month. We got a lot to do. We got, of course, the NBA and NHL finals. We also have the drafts coming up for both sports at the end of this month. We have the Memorial Golf Tournament going on right now. The U.S. Open tournament will be in 2 weeks, and the Belmont Stakes, which is the final of the Triple Crown. Speaking of, very funny. Speaking of the Memorial, let me get to that in a minute here. Right now, David Lipinski of the U.S. is in first, one stroke ahead of Mark Hubbard. You know, tied with Roy McIlroy in third. Denny McCarthy, not too, is falling in contention before, has fallen off the wayside, along with Colin Mornick. This is what is called the fifth major in the PGA Tour. Although some think not, but some do say it is the fifth major of the PGA. Okay. Uh, I think we just got another call. I think. Would you state your name for the record? Oh, maybe not. So right now it doesn't look so good for Colin, and the fourth round will be tomorrow. So I'll keep my eye on it for all you golf fans out there. All right. As I mentioned, Monty Williams is taking over the coach as coach of the Pistons. Oh boy, this will be fun. The team reached an agreement with Williams back yesterday to fill the vacant spot. Terms of the deal were not announced, but sources did indicate the deal is worth 78 million over 6 years, the largest for a coach in NBA history. After spending time with Williams, it is clear that he has found a unique balance between achieving victory while at the same time nurturing a culture of growth, inspiration, and development set by team owner Tom Gores. This is a huge win for us. Williams was fired head coach of the Suns on May 13th, 2 years after reaching the NBA Finals, and won Coach of the Year honors only a season ago. In four regular seasons, Williams won 63% of his games, but were eliminated in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row and lost to the Yucks or the Bucks rather in 2020 NBA Finals. So looks like Monty has a new home. It looks like he made a deal. Oh no. Okay. Yes. Yeah. He is. Mhm. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts? Yes. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts? Okay. Yes. Especially Pat Riley. Oh. Yes. Yeah. Well, Valeria, where are you located again? I forgot. Texas. Okay, Gerald's from the area too. So okay. Uh right, well, Texas. Gerald, yeah. Gerald, any thoughts from the Indy 500? Yeah, can you elaborate a little bit more? Okay. I heard there was a big crash though involving a few drivers. Then again, what else is new? I mean, it's an auto race. Yeah, and who wound up winning it? Actually, that's one too. Say it again. Okay, okay. I heard though I know the race was I think delayed on Sunday, but and was picked up again on Monday, or I think it was the Coca Cola 500, but still, uh, right 600. Yeah, Blaney won. Right, right. Yes. Okay. Before I go on to anything with the college sports, Diane, your trivia, please, if you have any. Oh, Yusuf New. Oh, Newgarden won. Joseph Newgarden won the Indy 500. Anything is, it's up to you, Di. It's up to you. Okay. You're breaking up, Di. Unless the I gotta go with Byron Nelson. Yeah. No. Yes. Yeah. Sam Snead. Right. Tiger. No. VJ. VJ. Right. Everybody knows that. I can't count that high. No. I see. Okay. Okay. All right. So moving on. Defending Wimbledon women's champ Elena Rabanka was pulled out of the French Open during the third round after coming down with an illness of sorts. We don't know what the illness is, though. I just wanted to give 100%. Obviously, I couldn't, she said. If I can't breathe, I don't know what. There's not a chance I can't even run and play. I think we got a problem here, guys. Hang on a second. Hold on. Let me mute. No? Okay. Right. Hold on. Alex, can you turn that down? Whatever it was. All right. Okay, we all still here? Okay. Yeah, I heard something from the background. Sound like an echo from somewhere. I don't know what it was. All right, so moving on. Um, if I can't breathe, then there's no chance I can compete or even run. She was scheduled to face Sarah Sarabonis, ranked 132 in today's opening match. The match was scheduled to begin at 5:45 our time, 11:45 in Paris. She sat down with a microphone news conference explaining why she dropped out of the tournament. Something stiffed up. She was running a fever and didn't sleep well the past 2 days and had difficulty breathing during a warm up session ahead of her match today. Doctors say that, though, there is a virus going around the city of Paris. I don't think I like the sound of that, guys. It's virus going around Paris. Okay. All right. And the J League has. Okay, let me start it again. The Utah Jazz G League squad is hiring former Marquette coach Steve Wojciechowski. Let's just call him Steve Woj as their next coach. Woj, as he's better known as, living in Salt Lake City, Utah, since he departed from Marquette in 2021, has been eager to make the transition from coaching in the NBA. Coaching the now lands with a franchise loaded with young players and 3 first-round picks in the draft that will happen later this month. He spent 2 years in the Jazz organization, especially with the last two with his relationship with former Jazz coach Quinn Snyder. He spent some time this season attending some of the Jazz practices, developing a relationship with Coach Will Hardy. Hang on a second. Okay, it's gone. To continue, Will joined Snyder as several college coaches who have made the transition from the G League to the NBA. Woj spent 7 seasons with Marquette and left with a 128-94 record, making 2 NCAA tournament appearances and one for that not invited tournament. I mean the NIT. Sorry. After Marquette, he spent 1 summer as an assistant coach for the Ameri Cup team. He also was an All-American National Defensive Player of the Year at Duke, where he was an assistant coach for 15 seasons under you know who, Coach K. So congratulations on that. Yeah, just call him Woj. That's all. You know, that's all we need to know about that. Woj. Uh, Jimmy, you're a fan of college baseball, right? Yeah, I know that the tournament is going on. Oh, by the way, Gerald, it was Yusuf Newgarden who won the Indy 500. He completed a late pass and defending champion Marcus Erickson just 3 turns ahead. 3 turns defended brilliantly to hold on for the win. So that's how that worked out. So I know that the playoffs are going on with the regionals. So what is your take on the college baseball playoffs right now? It's gonna be yeah. Yes. I'm aware of that. They play who, Gerald? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah. So let me break it down for you guys how it works. The regionals are well, the first round's going right now. The regionals will start. Actually, the regionals have started. They'll go through Monday. Super regionals are next weekend from the 11th, 9th to the 11th, or Saturday to Monday, 10th to the 12th. First day of the Men's College World Series game starts off on June 16th. The men's finals is from June 24th to June 26th, which would be the final game on June 26th if it should go that far. And Stanford, Penn, Auburn, Stanford and Penn won their first round games yesterday. In the Baton Rouge division, LSU won their first game. Oregon State pounded Sam Houston 18-2. Oh boy. Virginia clobbered Army West Point 15-1. East Carolina over Oklahoma 14-5. Over in the Clemson region, Clemson over Lipscomb 12-5. Sorry. And Tennessee over Charlotte 8-1. Now here's a terrible story here. South Carolina over Central Connecticut 19-1. Yuck. Jimmy, I forget, is it all double elimination at this point, or is it a single elimination tournament right now? Okay. Right. Well, remember, remember the championship is best of three. That part I know. Okay. Oh, I just found something very interesting here. According to CBS Sports, this is some kind of an early this day in history report. 1990, this date 1992, a future Hall of Famer was drafted by a certain team that I'm not going to mention right now, and has gone on to be one of the most best players and best well loved players in baseball history. Does anybody know who I'm talking about? No, no. On this date, on this date in 1992, a certain player was drafted by a certain team that I'm gonna have you guys guess. That would give it away. Okay, he's nicknamed the Captain. Say it again. Yes, in 19. Yep, Derek Jeter was drafted to the Yankees on this date in 1992. I just found this on CBS Sports. Okay, moving on. Well, I think Tom Brady means at this time that he's gonna not say he's not coming back. Thank goodness. After he formally retired 4 months ago, I am certain I am not playing again. So I have tried to make this very clear, and I hate to continue to profess that since I have done to many people many times before. Brady told Sports Illustrated in response to fans and the media who continue to come up with these crazy scenarios where saying I might return to the field. Brady wanted to say he is looking forward to beginning his work as a Fox broadcaster next year. The opportunity ahead with the Raiders as he recently purchased a small stake in the ownership. He also wants to spend more time with his family. Raiders owner Mark Davis announced last week that Brady agreed to the Raiders ownership group pending NFL approval. As with all prospective majority and minority owners, at least 24 owners must approve of Brady's partnerships, or 2/3 of all 32 owners. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Really, yeah, it looks like he's going to get it. Yeah, well. I know. Well, Tony Romo, of course, has done, well with his broadcasting career. I think he might be a better broadcaster than a player. But does that mean Brady's going to be the same way? Well, we'll be the judge of that later. That's kind of tough to prove. Okay, moving on. I think I know where you're going with that, Steve. So I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we move on here. Yeah, we got a little bit more to go with the notes here. Um. Oh yeah, and more tennis news here. Rafael Nadal went under arthroscopic surgery for an injured left hip flexor that forced him out of the French Open for the first time in 18 years. His spokesman said three doctors were involved in the procedure that took place in his hometown of Barcelona, Spain. Perez Barbadillo said he expected to pass along the information, which is now today. Nadal has been sidelined since January when he injured his hip in the second round of the Australian Open back in January. Yeah, tough break on that one. Wow. Montreal Canadiens forward Michael Perzetta signed a 2 year, $16 million deal extension yesterday. He was said to be a restricted agent on July 1st. He has 8 assists and 7 goals in the season and has 239 hits in 63 games this season. That's a lot of hits. Got to be careful with that, guys. All right. Oh, Steve, you might be interested in this one here. Josh Harris, who last month reached an agreement with the to buy the Commanders, will meet with the Finance Committee on Wednesday, according to multiple sources. This leads another step forward to a possible vote by the owners for a possible sale as maybe as this summer. He has been working with the league to make the required adjustments to his order to complete the sale, told by ESPN. He will meet with 8 Finance Committee members in New York. And this was said by the Washington Post. All right, Steve, got any questions, comments on that? Easy, easy. Family show here. All right. Anyone else? I'll move on. Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Never mind. I'll move on. Angels third baseman Anthony Rendon will not be charged with his role in an altercation with with a fan on opening day, said by the LA Times. The incident occurred on March 30th in Oakland when Rendon grabbed the shirt of a fan who, of course, was heckling him. Well, there's one of those in every crowd, folks. The video showed Rendon addressing a fan with offensive language after they lost to the A's on opening day, one of the few of the bright spots the A's have had all season. The LA Times police said in Oakland investigated the incident as a possible misdemeanor assault and a misdemeanor battery and decided not to file charges, according to a report by the newspaper. The case is now closed. Rendon did serve a 4-game suspension in April and was fined for an undisclosed amount. Hmm. Looks like we got another troublemaker. But, the fan did deserve it. I mean, he did heckle him. So I think he deserved a little bit. I think he just. I can't really blame him for. I mean, it's one thing to get angry at a fan who heckles you, but I don't think you should have put your hand on him in that kind of a manner. So both of them are wrong in this case. The fan's wrong too for heckling him, and he got angry, which I think is normal. But you don't go out and attack the fan, and grab him. So that's pretty stupid on his part. Exactly. But you shouldn't retaliate with that kind of force. So yes, on to the course. Right. Right. Okay. Anybody ready for some good news of the week? I got it. Blue Jays pitcher Chris Bassett stood on the mound in the eighth inning as teams patted him on the back, and manager John Schneider took the ball from him and said, "Now go be a dad." I'll explain that in a minute. Taking the mound after, well, his wife was having a baby and was in the labor while he was pitching. So taking the mound after a 90-minute rain delay and ready to rush back to Toronto as his wife went into labor, Bassett shut down his former team, which was the Mets, on just 3 hits and led the Blue Jays to a 3-0 victory. Sorry, Mets fans. Snyder said, "I'm sure there are a million things going through his mind right now." No kidding. Bassett's wife, Jessica, was due to give birth to her second child after her daughter, Landry. A private, a private jet was ready to take Bassett to Toronto as soon as he came out of the game and got to one of New York's smaller airports. The game was supposed to start at 7:10, but was delayed by rain and did not start until 8:41 due to the storm. Wherever it was, wasn't over here. Schneider credited director of team travel Mike Shaw for delaying the plane's departure time. There was no consideration to scratch Bassett. He tied his season high with 8 strikeouts and 7.5 innings, and didn't walk any batters, and threw 101 pitches before departing. He remained in the game to the eighth inning and was replaced by Tim Meza, who struck out Brandon Nemo, and eventually they found Nemo. Oh boy. Uh, to, yes, to end the eighth. Dory is still MIA at this point. Okay. But he left City Field before the game ended at 11:12 p.m. Hey, pretty good timing. Game started 8:41, ended 11:12. Not bad. So congratulations, Chris, to be a dad. Nice. Gotta like these new rules, cutting down the timing of the games. I don't think I've even seen a 4-hour game yet this season in baseball. Thank goodness. I think we all did. Yeah. Yes. Manny Machado was hitless in four at bats yesterday after missing the past 2 weeks with a hand injury, and they lost to the Cubs. Machado was hit by a pitch that hit the metacarpal in his left hand last month. Ugh. The third baseman struck out twice, hit to a fielder's choice, and lined out in his final two at bats. Oh boy, was witless. Every day is getting better, they said, though. In fact, it's gotten to the point where it doesn't even hurt anymore. So you say. So it's time to get back out there and play. In 41 games, Machado is batting 231 with 5 home runs and 19 RBIs. In other moves, Padres DH Nelson Cruz heads to the 10-day injured list with a strained right hamstring and opt for outfielder Jose Azocar to AAA El Paso. And the big, the, my, yes, right. Oh, okay, moving on. The big three are back with the Yankees. That's Stanton and Donaldson as they hit a home run last night in the return to the Yankees. But the bad news is they lost to the Dodgers 8-4. Stanton is playing his first game since April 15th as he hit a 417-foot home run that shot to center field on the top of the fourth. Donaldson hit 2 home runs in the first game, in the top of the second, and 2 run home run in the top of the ninth. His first game since April 5th. It's nice to have quality at bats, said Donaldson. Obviously, it's been frustrating not being able to play, but I really can't do much about that anymore. Hopefully, I can put my best foot forward and move ahead. Stanton, who was a longtime Dodger fan growing up in that area, suffered a left hamstring injury, and Donaldson had a right hamstring injury. My, it's an epidemic around here. Manager Aaron Boone says that both players are expected to play in 2 of the 3 games against the Dodgers. Tommy Canale, reliever, was sidelined with bicep tendonitis during spring training, made his debut yesterday, and only gave up 1 hit in a scoreless inning. Carlos Rodon went through a 30-pitch bullpen session yesterday, according to Boone. Rodon has been out since spring training with a left forearm injury as well as a back injury, but the lefty should be able to face live batters soon. So things are looking up, and that's why you see the Yankees are moving up in the standings. All right. All right. Any Big 12 fans around here? Okay, good. Good. Otherwise, we're doing this story for nothing. Okay. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark said yesterday the conference has a plan when it comes to expansion. Although league leaders are satisfied with their current membership, they continue to explore all options and considerations at a point in time. A source participating in the meetings this week told ESPN there was no voting on expansion. However, there were discussions on scenarios. Yormark, who addressed reporters by video conference after the Big 12 spring meetings um, in West Virginia, was asked about the possibility of Gonzaga or someone else joining the school as a basketball member only. Um, so we see the upside in basketball moving forward, all the right reasons. But Yormark said without meeting any certain schools. As we think the future ways to create value, he added there's always a chance to decouple basketball from football to see if there's a value we can create for the conference. And by the way, Big 12 will not go to a 9-game conference schedule as well. A source told ESPN that UConn and Gonzaga were talked about in the meetings, but the presidents and chancellors are in a holding pattern until the Pac-12 announces its new TV deal. The Big 12, though, is adding 4 new members this year in time for college football, and they are BYU, Cincinnati, Houston, we have a problem, and Central Florida. Gerald, your thoughts on that since you're from that area? You like it that well? Oh, thanks. He says sarcastic. He says I'm being sarcastic, Gerald. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, yeah, yep, right, right. I get it. I'm afraid to find out. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. You're right. Yeah. Oh, don't even go. Don't even go there. You're right. You're right. Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes. Yeah. Right. Yes. Okay. So I'll move on. Um, Online voting began for starters in the MLB All-Star game that will take place on July 11th in Seattle. An individual may cast up to 5 votes for a 24-hour period through 12 p.m. on June 22nd on MLB.com. Also through each team's websites, the MLB app and the MLB Ballpark app. The top two players in each league at each position, other than the outfield, and the six outfielders in each league will be announced on June 22nd. The top overall vote getter in both leagues will start in the All Star game and bypass the second round. The second phase of voting does not carry over from the first and runs from June 26th at noon and concludes June 29th, exactly 72 hours later. An individual can vote once per 24-hour period. The remaining starters will be announced on June 29th, and pitchers and relievers will be announced on July 2nd. I mean, it's coming out quicker than you think, guys. So think about that. All right. Oh, more college football news, guys. Ready for this? With now less than 100 days to go before the start of the official college football season, the bulk of the September schedule has become final as ESPN announced on Thursday the days and times for at least the first 3 weeks of the season and the bowl schedule, which consists of about 237 games anyway. Okay, week one begins on August 31st at 8 p.m. when Florida faces Utah as the headliner, starting 5 straight days of college football action. I like it. I like it. The opening week runs through Labor Day. That includes LSU at Florida State on the 3rd and Duke and Clemson on the 4th, even though it's a better college basketball matchup. Um, September 2nd, let Virginia face Tennessee, which will also be very emotional because that's the first game Virginia will play since the death of three teammates from the campus shooting on November 13th of Deshaun Perry, Devon Chandler, and Lavelle Davis as they perished in the shooting. We all remember that. Week two will feature Texas and Alabama, Notre Dame versus North Carolina State, and Texas A&M versus Miami, and the backyard brawl, Pitt and West Virginia. Oh, we know I gotta love that. And Florida and Georgia will play on CBS on October 28th. And CBS will say farewell to the SEC as that will move to ESPN after that. What's going to happen to Joe Arlington, though? Oh, boy. The college football semifinals will be held on January 1st at the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl, with the championship game being played on January 8th. I kind of like that schedule the first week, guys. Now, what do you make? Yeah. Yes. Anyone else? Mm, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Warm that we used to call the cream puff schedule. Okay. Okay. Steve, you might want to sit down for this one. The Commanders plays guard Andrew Norwell on the reserve PUP list with the intent of releasing him. Multiple sources have said the past 2 months that Washington plans to release Norwell once he's able to pass the physical. He is dealing with a right elbow injury that has lingered throughout all the offseason. Sorry to say. He injured his hip in week 17 of last season and did not play in the final game, but did recover from the injury. The Commanders would save 2.2 million dollars if released by well, if he was released by Thursday and did not receive a post June 1st designation. The Commanders could save 4.3 million against the cap with a post first designation. The Commanders did sign Noel to a 2-year deal last offseason to be their starting guard, but coaches consider his play to be inconsistent and want more youth along the line, said Coach Ron Rivera. The Commanders plan to have Shaquille Charles, a 2020 fourth round pick, and Chris Paul, not that Chris Paul, so let's not confuse each other now. Not that one. And a seventh round choice in 2022 competing for the starting left guard position. Norwell was named first team All Pro in 2017 when Rivera was still coach of the Panthers. He then signed a 5-year deal with the Jaguars for 66.5 million dollars and was the highest paid guard at the time of that signing. Norwell had been with Norwell had made the Panthers as an undrafted free agent in 2014 out of the Ohio State. All right, Steve, who do you got? I mean, what's your thought on the Commanders that could be dumping Norwell? Ah, mhm. Yeah. All right. I'll give you that. I thought I had some. Oh yeah, I do. I got some WNBA news here. If anybody's interested. Um, the Minnesota Lynx have lost Diamond Miller, the second overall pick in the WNBA draft this year, with a sprained right ankle, said the Lynx yesterday. Millard, who was a forward slash guard out of Maryland, was injured in the second quarter in the loss to Dallas on Tuesday. The ankle sprain was confirmed by an MRI. The Lynx said that Miller will be evaluated in a few weeks and further updates will be issued as soon as they are available. Uh, Unfortunately, the Lynx are off to a miserable start after going 0-6 after they lost to the Connecticut Sun on Tuesday and faced the Mystics today. I don't have a score update on that right now, but this doesn't look good for her or the team for that matter. Atlanta Dream guard Daniel Robertson underwent successful knee surgery on Wednesday and should return by the time the All Star game rolls around next month. Robertson is a 3-time All Star who suffered the injury in the season opener on May 20th. The former Oklahoma Sooners standout was traded to Atlanta in the offseason in a transaction that sent Australian star Christy Wallace to the Indiana Fever. What can I say, guys? I cover it all, even the WNBA. I know people think I'm nuts. I know you guys are thinking, okay, so what? But hey, anything I feel is newsworthy is worth mentioning on this program. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, we had some more news about the Yankees. There was another injury with the Yankees had. Oh wait, I got another. Yeah, I got another good story here. A year ago, yeah, a year ago, Royce Lewis tore his ACL in his right knee for the second time. A year later, he returned to the field in a season debut that was more of a fairy tale than rather than a baseball diamond. A year to the day of the injury, he said, beaming, "You can't make this stuff up. Believe me, you can't." To continue on, Lewis homered and had four BIs, and Ryan Jefferson home run in the 10th to get the Twins a win over the Astros. He injured when he last May. Lewis was injured when he crashed into the outfield while making a catch in his first league appearance at center field. The 2017 draft pick had reconstructive surgery a few days later and only played 12 games that year. It was the second time in 2 years that he had the same injury. He tore his ACL in February in 2021. Lewis was drafted as a shortstop, but will now play at third base for fellow top pick Carlos Correa. So that's, I think, a bit encouraging, don't you think, guys? Yeah, yeah. So I'll buy that. Okay, now even some even better news here. White Sox reliever Liam Hendriks allowed 2 runs and 3 hits and a walk to the Dodgers in the first inning. This was back on Monday night. His first outing since recovering from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, or as we used to call it, Hodgkin's disease. Hendricks got several standing ovations before he took to the mound, and when he took the mound at the top of the eighth, it was very emotional for Hendricks. He said after the loss, "It was humbling to go out there and seeing a number of people wearing my shirts and the amount of people of having signs or flags or anything like that, and the amount of people chanting as I came into the game. It was great being out there," said Hendricks. I felt strong and comfortable out there. However, he was not able to get past the strike two pitch where he wanted it. Yeah. He threw 27 pitches, giving up runs on a sac fly, uh, Neto, as well as infield single by Mike Trout. He did manage to get Shoni Otani to ground out, his first since October 3rd. Hendricks was diagnosed with cancer in December and went public a month later. His goal was to come back and not be placed on the 60-day injured list, and that's exactly what he did. So it's nice to have you back. Now that is inspiring. If that's not, I don't know what is. Yeah, it's nice to hear some good news in the sports world as well. Yeah. Mhm. So it's always nice to hear some good news in the sports world. Oh yeah, here's what I wanted to comment on with the college baseball playoffs. Wake Forest, who led the nation in wins and did not lose consecutive games all season, is the top seed in the college baseball tournament. That was announced last week, and the Southern Conference has 10 teams playing in the regionals. The 64 tournament opened up yesterday with 16 regionals. The winners advanced to the College World Series in Omaha. Now, wait, here's where it's going to get interesting, guys. The top 8 seeds are assured of hosting the Super Regionals, provided they win their regionals. The national seeds following are Wake Forest, are Florida at 44 and 14, Arkansas 41 and 16, Clemson 43 and 17, LSU 43 and 15, Vandy 41 and 18, Virginia 41 and 12, and Stanford 38 and 16. Seeds 9 through 16, Miami at 40 and 19, Coastal Carolina 39 and 19, Oklahoma State 41 and 18, Kentucky at 36 and 18, Auburn 34, 21 and 1. Yes, you can play ties in college baseball. Indiana State 42 and 15, South Carolina 39 and 19, and Alabama 40 and 19. The last 4 teams out, okay, now this I got a problem with. Oh wait, the last 4 teams in are Arizona 33 and 24, Louisiana 40 and 20, Oklahoma 31 and 26, and Troy 39 and 20. Now here's the problem. The first 4 out. Listen to this. ASU 32 and 23, Kansas State 35 and 24, Kent State 42 and 16. How do you not get in the tournament with a record like that? I mean, 42 and 16, you had a sensational season, and you don't get in the college baseball tournament. Is there something wrong with this picture, or is it just me? I don't get it. How do you get How do you get ousted by that? And by the way, UC Irvine 38-17. I don't think this system makes sense. You get a team that came in um, with a less than stellar record, and yet you snub Kent State, who have one of the better regular season records. Can somebody answer that? That's why, Jimmy, that's why I wanted you to come on to figure this out, because since you follow college baseball more closely than anybody here. Yeah, yeah. Why is it? Is their conference that weak? Did they not play anybody that good? I mean, I can understand that, but to get snubbed like that, you know, I just don't think that was right. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Moving on to USFL. All right. Houston played Pittsburgh. Steve, who did you have in that game? All right. Jimmy. Jimmy, who'd you have? All right. Diane. Roger. And Alex. I had Pittsburgh. All right. Philadelphia, Birmingham. This was a good battle. Who'd you have, Steve? Diane. Jimmy. All right. Alex. Roger. I have Philadelphia. Okay. Memphis at New Jersey tomorrow. Steve. Jimmy. They do. Diane. Roger. And Alex. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm going New Jersey. Okay, finally, Michigan at New Orleans. Steve, Jimmy, Roger, Diane, Alex. All right, give me. I'm taking Michigan. All right, so for a quick, well, I'll try to get this done here. The This week in history. At least I got one article in. Thank goodness. Yeah, that was a surprise. I just came up with CBS Sports, um, for that matter, and I was lucky to find it. So we'll just go through the quick ones here. All right. So we'll look down at more of the current events here. Oh, 1925 baseball player Eddie Collins becomes the sixth player to get 3,000 hits. Nice. Future Hall of First. Okay, 1932. Future Hall of Famer first baseman Lou Gehrig is the first of four consecutive home runs in an MLB game as the Yankees beat up on the Philadelphia A's 20-13. Ah, well. Yankees score 11 runs in the second. Yankees score 10 in the fifth, win 17-11. Ah, no defense that day. 1955, Stan the Man Musial hit number 300, his home run. Billy Shoemaker won the Belmont Stakes aboard Damascus, 2 minutes 28 seconds, back in 1967. Oh yeah, Yanks turn the 21st triple play in their history, but lose 4-3 in the Twins in 1968. Billie Jean King wins her only French title single in 1972. Her only French Open title. Wow. 1980, the Mets draft Darryl Strawberry, number 18. Darryl. Sorry. Yeah. We all remember that one, of course. Yeah. Well, it could have been worse. Could have been Raspberry. Oh, no. No, sorry. Nolan Ryan pitches his second one hitter this season, 11th overall in 1989. Yeah. 1989. Sportscasting legend Vin Scully broadcast 23 innings in two different cities on the same day. Wow. 1991. Tommy the Hitman Hearns captures the WBA lightweight title. And okay, so I'm gonna wrap it up there, guys, so that Rasal can get on with his show. He does a wonderful show. You might want to check it out. If you can. But don't sign off yet until I sign off, okay? Because then the whole thing might get messed up. So on that note, I wish you a pleasant good week, and we'll be back next week, same time, same station. And I hope you enjoy it. Oh, by the way, try to come on the 17th because that's going to be a very special show. I will explain it more on that day. So on that note, have a good night. Okay.